Hello and welcome back to the Book Club Podcast. My name is Jackson Miller, and today we're going to be analyzing the book Goodbye Vietnam. Now, I told you to read this last week, so we might be taking a few calls, analyzing the text. We'll go from there. The breakdown begins in 3. Goodbye Vietnam by Gloria Wellen was a story of a family fleeing their home for a better life. The story starts out in Vietnam, which is here on the world map, and ends here in Hong Kong, till thankfully they fly to the United States of America. The main character, May, and her family struggled through many ups and downs throughout their adventure, but ultimately escaped their oppressed lifestyle and finally found freedom. Or did they? The theme of this novel could be many things, such as survival, finding a better life, or family, as May and her family illegally left Vietnam in the darkness of the night to escape the oppression of the Vietnamese police and government. My thesis that I drew from this novel is that people who flee their country of origin seeking freedom are never truly free. As after May and her family had reached their goal and should be overjoyed with happiness, they still suffered the mental health aspects of which they left behind. The points I want to discuss are trauma, loss, and monumental culture shock upon arriving in their new country. Put yourself in the shoes of a refugee, or even May for that matter. Think about leaving your home and escaping, knowing it's wrong, and you could suffer deeply from it. That's a lot to take on. Even May and her family, when they board the ship, they sit with 30 people or so for weeks, just living off lukewarm tea and a bowl of rice per day. People were dying not even 5 feet away from her. And everybody was ill. There's no question that'll take a toll on you when you finally settle down. And the quote for this scene was, "There was talk over how small amount of water we had left to be divided. Some thought it would go to the old people who seemed to feel the heat the most. Others said it should go to the children." And that was on page 90, by the way, if you want to revisit it. My second point that I want to bring up is loss, and how it's a big thing that'll stay with you when you flee a country. Your belongings and personal things that you can't bring with you. Imagine having an altar with your personal heritage for over 100 years and just leaving it because it's too heavy. This is what May went through, and especially for her grandmother, who was expecting her family to remember and pray to her with her father and her father's father on this altar. It's very sad, and I can definitely see the hole it will leave for the rest of your life. A quote from the novel states, "When the darkness came, our father ordered everyone to join him at the family altar. We fell to our knees and bowed down. In a hushed voice, our father explained to the ancestors why it was necessary for our family to leave our home and our altar." And that was on page 22 if you want to revisit it in the text. Oh, looks like we have an incoming call from the name Sasuke Uchiha, who is going to give us his opinion on the extreme culture transition of people who have fled their country. Sasuke, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, and here's my opinion. The extreme culture transition that people face in their new country can have long-lasting emotional effects such as anxiety and depression. I say the language barrier is the biggest challenge for refugees as they navigate their new world. They cannot read road signs, government documents, or even grocery store products. In the novel, no one of authority speaks Vietnamese when they get into Hong Kong, and May and her family are not sure what is even going to happen to them next and are terrified to be sent back from where they came from. And do you want me to add a quote?
Yeah, for sure. That'd be great.
Phan Van Thao said on page 100, "You cannot put us here. This is not why we came to Hong Kong. Let us go."
Wow, that was really well done. I'm glad to see that you've been reading so in depth and really seeing the overall meaning behind the text.
Thank you, Jackson. It's a sweet opportunity to be reading on the show. I've been a fan since week 3.
Wow, that's really cool, Sasuke. Thanks. Thank you for being such a loyal member of the book club. That was Sasuke Uchiha on the extreme culture transition of people who have fled their country. Now, let's head into the conclusion of the novel. It is without question that people who are tortured, oppressed, and denied their basic human rights should have an opportunity to find a better life. Alongside these emotional changes that can last a lifetime, that's why I found this novel so fascinating, and why my biggest takeaway from the novel is freedom is a state of mind. Being truly free requires hard work for individuals to develop mental strength through conversation in order to understand the events they experienced in their past and work to let go of the pain that was inflicted on them. That is why you have to value everything and everyone that comes along in your journey of life and really strive for your freedom to be happy. Alrighty, that was Goodbye Vietnam by Gloria Wellen in today's podcast episode. My name is Jackson Miller, and hopefully you learned something in this week's show. Make sure to follow all my social media accounts in the link in the description. Also, next week we'll be analyzing How to Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. And as always, keep reading. Peace.